This video is made possible with the support from the American Platform Tennis Association. The APTA is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to govern the sport, grow participation, and improve all aspects of the game. With over 9,000 members, the APTA sanctions more than 180 annual tournaments, establishes and publishes the rules of the game, supports efforts to build new courts and programs, and produces all manner of media that will introduce you to this fast-paced, fast-growing sport.
Hi, I'm Gene Kempner, Vice President of the Professional Platform Tennis Association, and we're here with another one of our series of instructional videos. And I'd like to introduce the newly installed President of the PPTA, Nate Parsons.
Welcome, paddlers. I am joined by Missy DeLise and Suzanne Lemry, who will be helping us today in our discussion of communication. Who calls, when do you call, and most importantly, how do you call?
So Nate, platform tennis is a game of partnerships. That means that communication is very critical. And let's address the first issue of communication up at net. What do you think are the most important aspects of that?
You know, I think, Gino, the school of thought, there's a lot of different thoughts at the net, and it's a number one problem for a lot of teams. I established by calling who is the dominant caller. Two thoughts is, if there's an alpha dog or someone who's in charge, they're the caller the majority of the time. If you have two alpha dogs or two betas, then the person who's closer on the net should be the one making the call.
And what's a correct sort of a call? Yours?
I think a lot of people get in trouble with the hit, yours, maybe mine, go. I like the you and me. Nice, easy words, easy to make the calls between the shots.
All right, let's play a couple points and we'll see exactly how it shakes out on the communication part.
Sounds good. As you know, with these dividing lines that are set up right here, this will determine who is taking the ball. You can see with Missy, she is the line, anything to her right shoulder will be hers, anything to her left shoulder will be mine as we're playing the ad side.
And you'll notice the critical point on this is each player will be hitting a forehand overhead.
Also, before we've even started, you can see the calls being made by Missy, where me and Missy have decided that she will be the alpha dog calling for all the shots. As you can see in these next couple scenarios where we've shown the wrong way or ways that you get in trouble at the net, two big things come up. A, the person who's in the smaller portion of the court starts to cheat over beyond the line to take more overheads than they should. Also, the clear communication has begun to break down of the quick you or me right off the bat.
From a teaching perspective, we like to name our zones. The smaller zone, which Missy is responsible for, we call maximum security jail, and the portion that Nate is responsible is called minimum security jail. You'll notice when the confusion arises when Missy comes over to her left, that's known as a conjugal visit.
Now in this sequence, you can see how the net team has shifted over to work the deuce court. Notice the positioning of both net players.
And you'll notice how one player is closer up to the net, the down the line player is closer up to the net. In case a drive comes his way, he can easily cut that off. And you notice how the cross-court player is a little bit off the net, so she can handle harder and deeper lobs. You'll notice in this sequence now, when the lobs are coming from the deuce court player, the zones will be tweaked very slightly. Nate will take a little more of the court than he would had he been over on the ad side, and Missy will take a little bit less of the court. And the reason is we want to make sure that every overhead hit is a forehand overhead.
A common mistake for the backcourt team is the thought that the forehand player should take all balls down the middle if they are lobbing that ball. It actually is a counterproductive shot, and the person whose backhand is in the middle should be the one taking that ball if it is a lob.
So don't worry if you're hitting a forehand lob or a backhand lob. Whoever is closer at the point of contact should be handling that lob.
In this next sequence, you'll see how two players from the backcourt, Missy that's in the deuce court player has a two-handed backhand, and myself in the ad has a forehand down the middle. With two weapons, the key to establish who is driving the ball is set up based on the net positioning of who they're working. In this sequence, you'll see how they're playing me in the ad, and Missy now is coming to the middle to be aggressive with the drive.
You can get a lot of confusion on the middle balls when both players want that drive. You have to work out with your partner ahead of time who is going to take those middle balls, and that's the person with the stronger drive. All right, that wraps up another in our series of instructional videos. I hope that helps to clarify some of the confusion over who takes which ball. I'd like to thank our teaching pros from Hinsdale Park District, Missy DeLise, from the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois, Suzanne Lemery, and the current president of the Professional Platform Tennis Association, Nate Parsons. Thanks very much for coming, and we'll see you in the next episode.